Okay. Hello, my dear Sally.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good.
Yeah, I'm so excited that we're getting to do this interview together. I know you have so much to share with other entrepreneurs. And like I said, it's only clear once you go through it and once you know exactly how it is to go through a journey. And I know that your journey has been fascinating and very inspiring. And so I'm very happy that you're taking the time to share this journey with us and with everyone who is going to listen to this interview. So thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. It's an honor for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. So the goals of this interview, I want people to know what they're going to get and what kind of questions we're going to ask you, because there are very specific things that I think are very important to share with entrepreneurs who are either growing in their journey or scaling their business. You know, they have a business for a long time. And I know that you and I, we've been talking a lot about mindset. Mindset has been something that you have discovered in your journey, and I'm going to ask you questions to help us understand what is mindset for you, how it has helped you in your journey, and how you can really inspire and help other entrepreneurs to understand what is mindset. There's another concept that we've been talking a lot, you and I, about is alignment. Alignment also has changed the way that you do your business, and I want to talk about that and share how alignment can help you and other entrepreneurs to really be successful in their business. And the other thing that is less popular is how difficult it all is. I know that a lot of people want to sell the entrepreneurship. It's easy, it's fun, you make money, you're free. And exactly, I want you to share also how it has been a challenge on the journey, but how you grew out of this and you came even stronger and even clearer in your business. And the last thing that I want us to talk about is how it has been for you to work with me and to be in the Born to Do Business program, how it has helped you go through all this. Is that okay? Can we talk about all this?
Absolutely.
Amazing. So the first thing is, can you present yourself? Who you are, what you do, what is your business about?
Okay, so I'm Tali. I worked probably for about 10 years in corporate, and then the last 10 years in consulting, all sorts of projects. I always envisaged myself in my future as a businesswoman and a philanthropist, which is some people often say, oh, that's interesting. Wow, such a big vision. But yes, this was always my vision of myself. So I'm still doing some consulting, but what I really would like is to start my own business. I'm looking towards an e-commerce store that really makes women feel over the top. I also run a Jewish online school for children in Europe that don't have access to quality Jewish education. And I think that is my philanthropy piece. But when I started doing all of these things, I don't think I was quite clear in how, there were a lot of balls in the air, and I wasn't quite sure how things were going to settle, but I knew that they were all things that I wanted to do. So yeah, a bit messy.
Well, it used to be messy, but we're going to talk about how now you got clarity. And also, I think it's important to say that you live with your family in Italy, right?
Yes.
That's where are you originally? Right, 15 years in Italy, but originally you're from the UK.
And I lived in Israel for a while, so I'm nobody from nowhere or somebody from everywhere.
Exactly. Now, you spoke about it was messy, right? You said, I knew that I had a few balls in the air. You were doing the Jewish school, online school, which is an amazing project that I think is so important. You were also doing your consulting work, very successful work for your clients. And you also had this idea of e-commerce that was a very clear idea for you, but you weren't sure how to organize it all up. So tell me, before we started working together, do you remember what was your biggest challenge?
I think that when I found you, Natalie, there was a lot of chaos. And it wasn't for lack of opportunity. I had lots of opportunity. I was thinking about going into more business development, which was more lucrative. I just had too many opportunities. And I was trying to do them all and try to figure out which things were going to bring me to the next stage. And we'll talk about it later when I went through my stage. But later on, I realized I don't know how I actually humanly did all of those things. So it was a time of great confusion. I was trying to get somewhere. I wasn't sure where I was going, and I didn't know how I was going to get there. And whilst I became very, very good at chaos and managing and doing and skills and tools and all of that, and throwing all my energy on the physical aspects of making things work, I was very unaware that that mindset and alignment were things that were going to be able to help me sort through the chaos. And I just got used to being in chaos. I was a chaotic person in my life, in my family, in my home. It was wonderful to feel so much opportunity, but there was no way it could be properly managed.
Right. And also it's important to say, and I think that a lot of people will recognize themselves in you, is that you're very talented. You have a lot of skills. You know how to do a lot of things. And that's why you also have a lot of opportunities. And you're also someone that knows how to get things done. But you're very productive. You're very successful.
Right.
When you want to get something done, you know how to get it done. And so it wasn't about, am I going to be successful or not? It was about, yes, I know I can get things done, but what is this thing that I want to get done, right?
And yet it wasn't getting me closer to my long-term goal. That's a point.
Exactly.
I was
Exactly.
very good at that, productive and getting things done and next, just shipping it out. But it wasn't getting me closer to my long-term vision. And that was extremely frustrating.
Yes, I remember. And so the question is, what did you think that you would get by working with me? And what did you get in reality? Like what, because I know that when you came to me, you said, I'm confused, there are too many directions, and you thought that you would get something, but at the end you got something else. And I get that a lot, that people say, oh, I thought I was going to work on this, but at the end we worked on something else. So can you explain how that worked for you?
So I think that when I arrived to you, I had really tried everything. I call it the tangible and the non-tangible, right? So within tangible things, better systems, better ads, better CRM, okay, just to be really, really tangible, better Excel sheet. Intangible things, I was always getting better. But I realized that there was something I couldn't put my finger on that wasn't working. And I knew, I had just mentioned to you that I had seen this film much after it had actually come out, called A Star is Born. And whoever's seen that film, it's a very, very beautiful film. Every frame is very beautiful. But whoever knows the story behind how the film was made will know that it was very much a process of alignment for the actor and the director who created the film. He even modified the story to match some of his own preferences and history and process of alignment. And watching the whole documentary on how the film was made was such a moment of clarity for me. And I thought, wow, I would love to function on that level where the vibrations are so high and everything comes into alignment. Now, I didn't have these words then. I didn't have the vocabulary. I just knew that it was there and it was something I wanted to arrive at. And I thought to myself, that is the way to live, where you really have, where everything is open, but things fit together and they're clear and they're purposeful and they're deliberate.
Wow, I love it. I could listen to you talking about this for hours. But in the beginning, when you started working with me, you thought it was going to be more tools, more technical, tangible things, right? You thought it was going to be strategy. I'm a business coach. I'm going to help you take your business to the next level.
Absolutely.
And then what did you get?
So what happened then was that I really did a lot of listening and I followed all the steps and I had my accountability buddy. And then I think 3 months into the process, I went into a very deep funk. And that funk meant that I did not want to go to work. I did not want to serve my clients. I did not want to come to my desk. I did not want to get up in the morning. I did not want to do anything that was work because I felt like it wasn't serving any of my goals. And I needed to rethink about the whole way that I did work. And it was at that point, Natalie, that the things I had learned the previous 3 months started to fit together. You know, when we first met and we talked about schedule, I thought, okay, that's very nice. I know how to do schedules. I get up at 4 and I get it done, right? And you looked at me and said, oh, 4. Okay, right? Do you remember that? You're like, really? 4? And I was like, yeah, it's my kids come at 12 and that is my time. I'm out of time at 12. So it was very technical in the first 3 months that we worked together. And now it's sort of the orbit, everything is sort of shifting around and landing in the right place. I very much described my process as the pieces on my chessboard were moving around. So what I actually thought was going to work for me or bring me to the results that I wanted to achieve was not so. But I have to say, like on a strategic, categoric level, everything started shifting for me. And I minimally serviced my clients in those 2 months. And I just sat in my funk and watched things move around and just watched. Literally, I didn't actually do very much. I just observed myself and observed the movements in my orbit. Sounds so crazy because all these blah, blah, blah words are so not physical and they're so not doable. But this was my experience. And, you know, it was a wholly spiritual experience for me, who has always claimed is not so spiritual, but we'll leave that on the side. And so for me, that's really when I realized that this was more than just skills or taking it to the next level. This was taking it to the next level in a way that I had not expected or even knew what it looked like. Right. So that was, so for me, that was what, that was
what happened. Right.
Yeah,
exactly. Right. And so what happened on your personal development? So we started working together. You had this expectation of, you know, the technical tools. You saw that it was happening on a different level. You had this time where, you know, you wanted to reset, basically click on the reset button of your business and say,
I'm going to life. That's what I want.
But you wanted a different life.
Yeah, and I wanted a life going to serve my goals. And yes, you taught me lots of skills in those first 3 months, you know, time management and various things, but I had taken it on board. And this was the time where everything started to shift. And then I realized that with the skills that you had given me, how to apply those in my real next level, you know, bringing it up to the next level. And so as I mentioned to you, I spent sort of 2 months in this total process. And then 2 weeks at the end of those 2 months, which was lucky for me, it was the end of the year. The children were on school holidays. And I spent 2 weeks reorganizing my entire life to fit with the new vision of the new working and the new me.
Right.
And that was really
that's basically working on your mindset. It was really working on your mindset, working on your alignment, understanding this is my vision, this is my next goal, this is how I need to put all my life, whether it's my personal life or my business life, aligned with this new goal. And what I found fascinating, and that's why I'm so happy that you're sharing this, is that when you are in this time of going deep and looking inside, it may sound or it may feel or it may look like you're losing clarity and that everything is even more confusing. But then when you come out of the process, what happens when you come out of the process? Share with us, once you did go deep and you did look inside and you looked at, you know, your alignment, what was the clarity that came out of the process?
Well, it was very deep, but I was extremely stubborn that I wasn't leaving the process without very, very clear answers. So what started to happen for me was some clarity around, you know, how I wasn't going to be able to organize my time in any sort of standard way, but it had to be personalized to me. to my life, to my priorities, to my family, to my husband, to my children, to my philanthropic work, which was really, really important. And that needed a whole, and honestly, the reorganization, that was the easy part, right? It's really the conceptual work. And I was always so busy that conceptual work seemed like a luxury to me, right? Because I always filled myself up and there was no time to waste. And honestly, can you imagine a mother like that? I wasn't so pleasant, right? It was like, oh, gotta go, move, let's go eat dinner. Let's take a bath. And now I'm in a different, you can ask my husband, I'm in a completely different energetic space where we have slowed things down to a point where we can actually think about how we want to do them well. And it's not a waste of time or a luxury. It's necessary to the fullest experience of life.
Right. Wow. Amazing. And also, I think that you have got clarity also on what you want to stop doing, which is such a huge clarity in terms of your strategic direction. So what did you decide to stop doing from that clarity?
So these are the more concrete things that came out of that process. And my clarity was that I did not, consulting was easy and it was in my comfort zone. And there was always more and more work and more projects. But I actually did not want to serve clients anymore. I wanted to serve myself. And so the next step in my plan was to figure out, how to support myself momentarily and how to build the next step. And I will, just throw in there that even for the school, I was doing so much. I was doing the admin and I was doing everything for the school. And at that, when I came into clarity, I realized I had to do a fundraising campaign. I had to hire a secretary. And that all happened in the space of a month. Like, I decided for the next stage, we needed to compartmentalize things better. We needed to have more time to focus on one thing, right?
Right.
I'm no more doing 10 things at the same time. I have days for doing different things. It's changed my life.
Wow. Amazing. And also the knowing what you don't do for the consulting
was huge.
Is huge, because everything that you were doing for your clients, all your skills or your experience or your expertise, you're going to use them now to serve your own business, your own e-commerce business. And this is getting the alignment and closer to your end goal, to your vision. So
I think I spoke to you the first day I went back to work in January after my period of seclusion. And I said to you, oh my God, can I just not serve any clients? I don't want to serve any clients. Right, I'm so excited about the next stage. And you said, what do you mean? And I said, no, I am serving clients. But the minute I realized I could serve my clients one day a week and, maintain an income, but then have 2 whole days to work on my business, I was like, I went into working with you saying, I don't have time. I don't have time for anything, right? And all of a sudden, 2 days or 2 mornings just for that. I'm thinking, in a month, I'm going to be at a totally different stage.
Of course. And this is managing the transition, right? Not doing it yes, knowing where you're going, but managing the transition by continuing working with your clients and starting, or continuing developing your e-commerce business, which is where you want to go. So this is amazing.
So this process for me, time has taken on a very different meaning. I no longer feel that I don't have time. I no longer feel that pressure of, I have to finish. I have to, this is what I have to do in this time. But no, I have time and I have a plan and I'm doing it. And actually, however long it takes, because I know myself, it's not like I'm going to take 17 years to do it. I am efficient and I am productive. But also, because the tone of time has changed, it's like I believe in myself more. I'm kinder to myself more. I'm just a nicer person to be with myself. I was so critical and so, moving along. I remember the first masterminds I sat in. It was real struggle for me to be patient and to listen to the other people. but that's probably one of the aspects of this program I've learned so much from the other people, and learning about their journeys and the different stages that they've gone through, and not being too quick to judge, you know. So it's really, really very, very helpful. Yeah. Time is completely different. I have time.
Sure.
I have lots of time.
And so tell me, to make sure that we end this conversation with a concrete advice to entrepreneurs who listen to you, and they also have this confusion. So, and they also have this confusion. They also have, this need of clarity. What would you tell them? What would be your advice for entrepreneurs who are still in this confusion and, need to get clarity?
So if you've tried everything that is tangible and you're still not getting to where you want to go, there's a whole mindset and alignment piece that has to be considered. If you don't know what that is, then look it up. It's a little blah, blah in the beginning, and that's hard, especially when you're an extremely tangible, practical, outcome-focused person. But it's a real thing, and it can change. I noticed that in my past, I've always had great admiration for brands that are untangibly successful. They're not more successful by 1 or 2 points on the stock market or by their value, but they're tangible. Their explosive success is because of their people policies, or their green policies, or that's mindset. That's the missing piece of things you can't put your finger on, but that can turn your results into, something that's not tangible, that's off the charts, that's, aligned with a higher frequency of doing things. If I'm making any sense, if I take myself back and listen to myself now, I actually think I would not know what I was saying.
Wow.
So yeah, it's an integral piece, and you can't cross the river without.
Definitely. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tali, for sharing your journey.
It's such a pleasure. It's been an incredible journey. Never would have happened without you. And it's I'm excited to see what comes next. I think I've only scratched the surface, so I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that your testimonial is really going to help people understand this non-tangible thing, just the way you're explaining it. And it's going to help them, at least, even if they don't have the answers, but at least have the right questions, because that's how it starts, right? It starts with the right questions, and then we spend our lives looking for the answers, but at least we know where to look. So I think that your testimonial here and sharing your journey is going to be really, really important for many entrepreneurs. So thank you so much. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen and, where you're going to take this. I'm sure we're going to hear from you, and we're going to hear so much success that it's going to be fascinating. Thank you, Tali.
Being such an instrumental part of my journey.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tali. I'll speak to you soon. Bye, everyone.